Hi guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. First off, I have to really quickly preface that the microphone quality is not going to be the best. I'm so incredibly apologetic. I broke my microphone, so we're going to have to thug it out with this quality just for a little bit. I don't know how bad it will be, but I do know that it is at least audible, and it's not terrible, so we'll just have to deal with that today. But that's okay, all's well. Essentially, this video is just going to be me talking about my experience with journaling, more extensively my planning and my journaling and my all that jazz, my writing system essentially. I'm also going to be talking about my tips into getting into journaling, how to start, how to like actually make it stick, and then I'll give you guys some reading updates because I've been doing a bit of reading. So that's pretty much it. Oh, my friend said I should introduce myself in the video because that's not something I've ever done before. Hi, my name is Jade. Ni is my middle name / my Vietnamese name, which means a lot to me. I'm the youngest of my family, and Ni translates into little one, or I guess Bea, which makes sense because Bea means baby. I'm the youngest one in the family, basically. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to introduce myself. If you can tell, I really like philosophy and literature and books and writing and all that jazz. That's all that I've talked about so far in this channel, but also I really like art as well. I've been doing that for quite some time, so there's just some things that you'll probably see on this channel. But yeah, that's it. Before we get started, I've already talked about this in my previous video, but this I guess is a bit more extensively into my journaling system and my planning system, all that jazz. It's a little bit extensive. Some of it is not something I use on the regular, but they're all part of my like writing, creative thinking, that kind of thing. So I will touch upon that first before we get into the bulk of the video, which is my journey and also my tips. And so first, this is my not my journal, this is my notebook. This is what I use for my creative writing, or I guess my more think piece sort of things. The stuff that I write on Substack, I usually draft in here first. Like for example, on Valentine's Day, I published an essay about love, my experience with it. I think it was literally just called My Testament to Love. So it's my contribution to Valentine's Day. But basically, I talked about why I was so, like, a bit into why it feels really fundamental to me, how it's shaped me as a person, what I love about love, and, like, that kind of thing. It's not super crazy, it's not super extensive, but basically I just detailed a bit of my experience with love and romance and relationships and how that has helped me blossom into a better person. So, or into a newer person, which I think is the whole point of, like, teenage romance and teenage love, is to like learn and grow about yourself, and or to learn more about yourself and grow as an individual. Those are definitely like the very formative relationships that you have when growing up. So I thought that piece was really lovely. And I also talked about a bit of a movie trilogy that I watched that was about romance, and I thought that was really phenomenal. But anyways, this is what this is usually for, just a lot more comprehensive writing, I guess, or whenever I have a specific topic and I want to write about it more critically or more intensely, then this is usually where it goes in. Like for example, I'm starting to draft a piece right now that is talking about gossip and how it is intended with socialization, but it comes off really malicious, and there's like a difference between the desire for talking and communicating and catching up with people, and then also just like actual shit talking, which is what we've also associated gossiping with. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that is what that's what that journal is for. Okay, next, I don't use this one extensively, but this is my notebook or my journal for like reading reflections and taking notes on books and stuff. This one really helps when I'm reading a book physically. I like to like take notes of my thoughts and my opinions. I did this for a book that I just finished recently, First Love by Ivan Turgenev, which I'll talk about more later at the end of this video. But it really helped me to take notes on it, and also I really enjoyed doing that because I previously had like a note-taking system for books on like a digital surface, but that really was not something that I found myself drawn to, I guess. But I felt like I was giving myself too many rules and it felt like too much pressure to be writing in it. So this is for when I want to write. about a book or what I wanted to reflect about a book, but it's like literally like no pressure like whatsoever, which is what I more so enjoy. And also I usually tend to be drawn towards like physical stuff, like writing things out rather than taking notes on it digitally. So this is pretty phenomenal. It really helped me comprehend like my essay, or not my essay, my review for First Love by Ivan Turgenev. So I really quite enjoyed taking notes on that book, and there was like kind of a big twist. I wouldn't say big because I kind of anticipated a little bit, but I still thought it was really shocking. And taking notes on it allowed me to review like some of the stuff that I took notes on and then connect it towards like foreshadowing of the plot twist. So also really helping with comprehension of writing, because I have a lot of brain fog. I forget things pretty easily, so it's always good to have something to reflect on. So, and also writing, it helps me remember more. So that's what this journal is for. Okay, next we have my planner. I've more so started using this more regularly, but I find that my like system for it has been really fantastic. What I do is for each day, it has a pretty long line and I write really small, so I split it in half, and then one half is my school tasks, my assignments and all that stuff, and the other side is like miscellaneous stuff that I want to do throughout the day. Like for example, I wrote yesterday that I wanted to wash my hair, I wanted to journal, I wanted to make some tea and soup, and I wanted to read two of the books that I'm reading right now and get to a specific page in the book. So that is where I kind of have the goals for that. So that's more so my day-to-day stuff, also where I put my reminders for like watering a plant, that kind of thing. But what I found I've been doing more recently is I have a memo pad, and I literally just take off pages from the memo pad and I paperclip it in here. So this is where I can also write down everything that I need to do during the day in the order that I want them to be done. Sometimes it really depends on like when I'm doing them, like, or when I'm writing on the memo pad, because sometimes if I start it earlier in the day, then I will do like, I'll do two different memo pads, like different notes, and the one note will be everything that I want to encapsulate during a time period, and the other one will be the time like blocking sort of thing, where it's like during this class I'm going to do this, during this class I'm going to do this, during this class I'm going to do this, after school I'm going to do this, and then I can order it off on that, and that feels way better for me because then I can just write whatever, wherever and whatever, and it's a little bit more messy, but it works really well for me, and I keep all of them either way because I will store them. But that has been my system for that, for my planning. But for stuff like appointments and that kind of thing, I also write about them in here, but I don't use like the calendar pages that this planner has. I literally just log it on TimeTree, which is like a calendar app that you can use and share your calendar with your friends, so then you can coincide like schedules and stuff. But I personally don't really use it so much for that. I have a calendar with some of my friends, but I don't necessarily use it for that. But that is where I keep all my appointments, because then I can get a reminder the day before my appointment, or like a couple days before my appointment, and then I can keep track of like all the things that are big things that I must keep track of. So that is what I use TimeTree for. Next, these two journals kind of go hand in hand, but basically what I really quite like about this one, this is my pocket journal. This is one I carry with me everywhere. I bring this with me wherever I go. So what I like about this one is that I write in it a lot in the moment. So once stuff happens, I write about it then, or once I'm feeling an emotion deeply, I write about it immediately. That is what I really quite like, because then what I do with this journal is I actually reread it. I reread every entry that I write in this one, because then I get to identify all the emotions I was feeling, the experiences I was having, why was I feeling it so strongly, what triggered it, what made me feel like this, what happened throughout my day. I get to literally just keep a record of every little thing, which I think is such a beautiful thing to do. And then that ties in, because when I reread that, then I revise what I think is so important about my day, which is usually pretty much everything, because I enjoy a lot of the monotony of life and like the little things and all the little moments that make up your life and your day. I revise all of that, and then I can be a lot more introspective when I write in here. This system has been beautiful because I usually write in this for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm done. But then once I reread it, I start to refeel the emotions, and then it's such like a deeper experienced. And then when I start writing about it again, or when I write in here, I write in this journal for like an hour at a time. Like I'm literally writing like 6 pages, when before I was just like trying to like force out like at least 1 page. So if you want to do a lot more introspection, I would recommend that kind of system. But let's not forget, when I first started journaling, I had 1 journal at a time. So here is now my exploration into journaling and my tips into getting into it. My first big tip is figuring out what form works best for you. For me, I do an amalgamation of things. I do scrapbooking, I do a bit of art, I do a bit of just various little things. Like I collect stuff in person and then I just tape it on in there. It's like very intricately done. But majority of it is writing, and that is what I enjoy best. But I know there are people who kind of experience things a lot more freely, but I like the rigidness and the experience of writing just lines. But I know that there are people who just experience things differently and want to express it differently. There's different like kinds of paper, there's different weights to paper that will work a lot better for different mediums. For example, the journals that I use, they are kind of a bit of a heavier weight. I think it's like 100 whatever. I don't know the terminology for the whatever. But so it works really well with like fountain pens and ink and that kind of stuff. I've also figured out that I really like writing in pen. I know that I don't like spiral cover or the spiral bound stuff. I like my journals like thread bound, so it's like this. But I like my journals like that. I think just figure out what you like best in terms of paper and what medium works best for you, because there's dotted paper, there's blank paper, there's the grid paper, like all that jazz. So I think it's just a matter of figuring out what you like best and what looks best for you and what makes your experience a lot more enjoyable. My next tip is do it for the aesthetic if that makes it a lot more exciting for you. I think this is my very big main example that made me think of this like tip, I guess, was that a lot of the times we demonize people for reading for the aesthetic, and I think that criticism only works if they're reading to feel like an intellectual, but they don't actually even enjoy the act of reading. It's literally just an appearance thing. But I have to admit, I love reading in public and I love carrying a book with me because I like feeling cool as shit, like with my book out in public, reading it instead of like being on my phone. Like I feel cool, but I still love reading and that's still something I enjoy. So it's like, while I am doing it and I feel really cool doing it, the more important thing is that because I feel cool, I'm more inclined and I'm more excited to be doing this. And I think that's very applicable for my experience with journaling, because here, all of my journals, they have had like a very specific, like not a very specific, but a very beautiful design. Like this one, phenomenal, like that. Most of these journals are Peter Pauper Press, by the way, which is I think on Amazon, but these are phenomenal. Like this one's gorgeous. This one's gorgeous, and it also has like the flap magnet mechanic enclosure thing. This one was beautiful, and look, and then it's very thick because I've done a lot of scrapbooking in this one. This one is my personal favorite visually because it's A Kiss by Gustav Klimt, which is one of my favorite paintings, but it's also one of my favorite paintings because of this journal. Like literally find journals that make you excited to journal, that make you like happy about journaling, that make you feel excited about it, even if it's just like for the aesthetic purposes, even if it's just because it looks cool. Do it if it makes you excited. I think this is the only differing one. This is Paper Blanks. And this is my first journal ever, which is Obsidian, I think. Look how stunning. Literally, there's no shame in doing something or curating something to be beautiful if it makes it a lot more exciting for you. That is my tip. Find a journal that is beautiful and it calls to you and it makes you feel excited about it. Or even then, I know there's also people who get blank journals and they decorate it and create it into their own. That's what I did with this one, which makes me feel a lot better about it because the plain stuff does not work for me. I'm such a maximalist kind of person. I like keeping things, I like having a lot of things. I'm very big with my expression of things, or very abundant with my expression of things. So literally just do something that makes you feel excited about it. That's my tip. Another thing that I wanted to add, I guess, was that literally do anything. I know I already said that, but literally do whatever the fuck you want. I think there's such like, I think you create a lot of stress for yourself when you begin to add all these like arbitrary like little rules. Like for example, oh, I have to journal every day, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to add this, or I have to talk about this and this and that. Dude, literally do whatever the fuck you want. Like, take such a casual approach to it, because I assure you, my journals are not that pretty. Like, whenever I do my handwriting very purposefully, like for my pen pals, it's very neat and nice at the very least. In my writing, half of the time is I cannot read half of what I like end up writing, which is literally so fine. It's not that big of a deal. Take such a casual approach to it, because it's literally like a tool at the end of the day. It is a tool that helps you. Don't create all these like rules for yourself or make it such a big stressor for yourself when it does not need to be at all, because at the end of the day, this is supposed to help you. This is not for anyone else. This is not like something that you're forced to do, that you have to do. This is supposed to support you as an individual, and that is what I take it as. This is all stuff that I'm doing because it makes me feel a lot better, not because I feel like I need to be doing it a specific or certain way. It's literally just whatever you want. The thing is, like, my journaling system is pretty extensive. It's a lot of different things all at once. It's a lot of different usages, different intentions, different things, all that jazz. Don't stress yourself out with that kind of thing if you are not even in the habit of journaling yet. That is just a system that I do that works for me, and it took me up until the beginning of this year to do that. So it's like a little over a year for me to even think of developing my system further than just past journaling. So literally take your time. You're in no rush. It's a fun journey. It's an experience. So find yourself enjoying that process more than trying to get to the outcome of like having a journal, finishing a journal. Just enjoy the process, because it's literally, it'll go by so quickly. So yeah, those are all my tips for journaling. I hope that helps, and I hope you get into it. So yeah. Okay, lastly, I'm going to talk about the books that I finished recently. Firstly, I finished First Love by Ivan Turgenev, which is about a 16-year-old boy who falls in love with a 21-year-old girl who essentially has a harem. There's a pretty sick twist to it. It basically touches on love, a first love experience. It does a lot of like the puppy love emotions and feelings and all that jazz. I think it did that really phenomenally, and it had a really good overarching message, in my opinion, that was like basically know when to go, which I thought that book was really phenomenal. I really quite enjoyed First Love by Ivan Turgenev. I rated that 4 stars out of 5. Also, I finished reading The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing, but I thought that book was really phenomenal. It made me feel so many deep emotions. It touches upon a lot of cultural context, a lot of familial relationships and connections, and it literally made me like sick to my stomach, made me sad, made me cry. So I haven't felt that deeply and emotionally about a book in a long time, since I think like Project Hail Mary, which was like December. But also I haven't been reading anything like too crazy since then. But that was my first 5-star book of the year, so very super happy about that. I thought it was really phenomenal, and it was a lot of pain and suffering, and it was terrible, and I loved it. So that is it for my book updates. So if you guys want to be friends with me on Goodreads, my Goodreads is always linked down below, or also in my link tree. Literally send me a friend request on Goodreads, because I will always accept it. I love making buddies on Goodreads because I get to keep up with other people's reading experiences and all that jazz. So friend me on Goodreads, and also Storygraph, because I also have Storygraph if you're not inclined to Goodreads. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. This was low-key a stroke of genius, but journaling is like literally one of my biggest personality traits, and I love doing it so much. I think I've learned so much for myself over the years. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye. Okay, guys, I got a this is so unrelated to the actual video. I don't know if I'm adding this in at the end or at the beginning, but I haven't filmed yet. But I got a fucking harmonica. I told my friend I got a harmonica, and he was like, we could be like those people in jail that like play like the tune like very wistfully, very sadly, where it's like the, if you guys know what I'm talking about. This is me though, fulfilling the, like, my little musician heart that really wants to play instruments but also does not have the patience. And also I have long nails, which makes it a little bit impossible, but eventually I will probably do shorter nails just so I can actually play instruments, because I have a guitar and I have a piano. So, but for now I will suffice with my harmonica.